Hello everyone, and welcome to the bio/background of Kinslayer's character Rafen Hazael. And Kinslayer can just come in and start talking right now.
Alright, thanks, Jack. So, my character's name is Rafen Hazael. He's a Blood Angel Devastator, and he's something of a latecomer to the Deathwatch kill team. Rafen, like I said, is Blood Angel. He has served as a Blood Angel for 146 years. Throughout those century and a half years of service, he has served with distinction and stoicism and humility expected of a Blood Angel. Essentially, he is the paragon of, well, he's amongst the paragons of Blood Angels, and he exemplifies like their greatest ideals of nobility and purity, and overall just being a badass, at least in my oh so humble opinion. Now, he has served as a Devastator Marine for the past 35 years. Of course, as added on top of when he was first joined the Blood Angels and was required to serve as a Devastator. So he has served for quite a long time and has developed a sort of affinity with heavy weapons and their use. As such, as I said, he was specifically chosen to be recycled through the Devastators and kept there as a more permanent plaything, as the station suits his abilities and proficiency. Now, how he joined the Deathwatch was he received a recruitment letter from his company captain, which he received from his chapter master, which was, of course, received from some form of inquisitorial contact. The recruitment letter simply stated that Deathwatch has selected you as a possible recruit for a Deathwatch squad in some area of the Imperium which requires your assistance or the aid of the Deathwatch. And so for a number of days, Rafen waited, and was eventually approached by Watch Captain Sorrow and interviewed, during which Rafen answered his questions in his opinion, answered them well and humbly, but he doesn't feel that the Watch Captain was particularly satisfied with them, or really felt like they didn't exactly get off to the best start. Of course, Rafen hopes to change that, but that will come later. Now, he came to the Deathwatch somewhat later, after the rest of the members. They had not yet gone on their first mission, so Rafen made it and met the 3 Storm Wardens in the mess hall, which they introduced themselves very quickly over a few minutes. You know, who are you? I am Rafen Hazael of the Blood Angels. You know, honor to meet you. And before they could really get to the meet and grit of themselves and get, really converse with each other, they were immediately tossed into another training session with which to further cement their abilities within the squad.
Alright. Oh, you ready for some questions?
Sure, shoot.
Okay, how does your character see the Deathwatch as a whole? How does he see only the Deathwatch?
He sees the Deathwatch as an honor to join. He sees it as this august body of brothers from all across the Imperium, with all their differences and weaknesses and strengths. And he sees that through their cooperation and eventually complete bonding as true battle brothers, regardless of where they came from, they can accomplish things that a squad of battle brothers from their own original chapter could barely dream of doing, since their backgrounds give each of them, while similar, certain specialties and abilities that you wouldn't see in their own home chapter. Sort of a form of, a space wolf can do things the Ultramarine can't do, but vice versa. They can do a lot of things similarly, but then there's always that one or two things that one of them can't do without the other. And that's what makes the Deathwatch so special and so honored to join, in his opinion. It's that they can do the impossible because of those differences and the fact that they accept them.
Alright, is there any races or any certain type of people out there in the wide, vast galaxy that is Warhammer 40k. Is there anyone out there that you especially hate?
There are a few. In general, above the normal Space Marine levels of hating anybody that's not true to the Imperium. Excuse me. He particularly hates two forms of enemies that the Imperium has fought over the 10,000 years since its inception. The firstly are just in general mutants. The Blood Angels' homeworld, where they recruit Val, and then its two moons, Val Primus and Val Secundus, are they're coated in radiation in areas. Well, the two moons at least are, and one of the moons, Val Secundus, is where he is from, and because of that radiation, a large portion of the population is just mutated and warped, and many of these mutants form tribes and are cannibals, and in general make life harder than it already is on such a harsh desert-like barren wasteland of a moon, which has to be his home. So in particular, that hatred when he was growing up as a child transfers into his Space Marine adulthood and life, and he still harbors a great deal of hatred above the norm that Space Marines normally feel. Secondly, is for Black Legion traitor Space Marines. For those who don't really know the lore, back when the Horus Heresy had reached its climax and the Horus and the Emperor were about to duke it out and fight, Sanguinius, the Primarch of the Blood Angels, managed to find Horus first when they attacked his battle barge. And Horus and Sanguinius had an epic duel, which normally I would like to believe that Sanguinius probably would have won. But Horus had been infused with the foul powers of chaos and was able to strike Sanguinius down and kill him. But some say that it was this chink in the Sanguinius created a chink in the armor, which allowed the Emperor to kill him, to kill Horus after the Emperor eventually found him. So, for the death of their Primarch at the hands of Horus, the Primarch of the Black Legion, back then they were the Sons of Horus, he harbored a great hate because they're the ones who cast down their demigod, their closest father figure as Space Marines, and cut him down and killed him without remorse. It was also because of this death, a psychic backlash throughout all the Blood Angels, which gave their gene seed a secondary kind of curse, but we'll go into that later. Needless to say, it's because of Sanguinius' death that many of the Blood Angels are cursed today with a secret that they harbor deep within them. And those are the guys that the Blood Angels hate above all. Well, at least Rafen does.
Okay, I think that's about all the questions. I think you did them all pretty well.
Thank you.
Alright, if you have any questions or anything, I'll make sure to write them in comments, and I'll make sure to tell Kinslayer if they're questions about Kinslayer. If they're just questions about Warhammer in general, I will obviously, comment and reply back and explain things if you need it. And if it would be very long, then I'd make a video. That's about it. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Bye guys, stay tuned.